started.
And the wicked don't stop, trying to adopt, but this shit don't stop. Praying that they fall, wanna see them all fall, not one, not two, wanna see them all fall, that they do not rise. How can she be when he bless your little ones? See, I know things they don't want you to know. Act like we ain't never told you before. Devil on the earth that was murdered that he wrote. Don't worry about it, brother, he gon' reap what he sowed. Don't worry about it, sis, he gon' get it for the low. I wanna see him dead for a nigga gotta go. Fucking with a nation, he don't wanna let go. And also, he don't wanna see us grow. Hang us in the trees, then watch his bodies rock. Put us in the fire, man, they gotta be out. Put us in the cell, man, they gotta be held. Do you know how it feels when you can't fight back? Weak ass cops don't know about Jack. No, they really wanna see
SHALAM. Who is that I'm speaking with? No, you okay? Just Renee calling back. Okay, give us a second, sis. We got one song. We about to get it all the way in. Give me a second. And then get all your questions together, because I want you to go through all that. Listen, search all of that Christianity that's been permeated in your soul. Search it all, and give me questions concerning everything that the Christian doctrine taught you as a child growing up, and that you believed in your adulthood. Search all them questions right now and pose them to me. I'm gonna destroy Christianity today in 2 hours. I promise you. Every question that you got, give it to me today. It's gonna be dismantled and destroyed. One West Commander General Yahanna out of Harlem, New York, man, since 1969, man. Give me any question, man, and I'm gonna show you what Commander General Yahanna taught me. It brought me out of the Christian church. Where we at, priest?
I got big.
Carl Rob, you a hell of a soldier, priest.
All right, it's live now.
You a hell of a soldier, man. We live, man. My name is Captain Laban. I'm representing not only Commanding General Yahanna, man, that's been holding this thing down since 1969. Listen, since everybody else fell off from the truth, Commander General Yahanna said, hell no. That's the type of brother you need to recognize that he is, man. He said, hell no, man. This doctrine, man, must be preached to all flesh. That's what he embraced in his heart, man. And because of Commanding General Yahanna, I'm able to sit here right now. Some disgusting, thing that I hasten to utter, right? I'm able to sit here right now in the city of Atlanta, where the king, Ratazah, reigns. You understand that? And talk about the Bible, man. That's what we do, man. Under Commander General Yahanna, 125th Street since 1969. We rep the Bible. And I'm going to tell you something. The Bible is a black man's book. Everybody out there that's listening, man, I want to say the dirty soft, but the brother told me, what did you tell me, priest?
This is Atlanta now, Atlanta.
You said that's kind of old school. All right, Salakia. So I ain't going to call it the dirty soft, man. I'm going to call it Atlanta, man. I'm here, man, listen, representing Ratazayah, man, and the brother Rakar Karab, man, who was a hell of a priest, man, doing this thing, man, and on so many levels. And man, I'm big up this brother right here, man. You an officer what?
50.
I can't tell. Because you functioning like an officer of at least 1,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, man, I'm most impressed with your zeal and your performance since I pulled up, man, in front of the Bears, man. Most High in Christ to you, brother. And again, Most High in Christ, man, to that brother,
Rakar Karab.
Rakar Karab and Ratas, what's his name? Ratazayah. Most High in Christ. Listen, my problem is I've been sitting up here. We've had some technical difficulties, and the brother then pushed this. What is this shit you feed me, priest? Everybody know that the captain out of the city of Detroit got a drinking problem, and the brother been pushing this on me, Salaki. I know them brothers that I just mentioned. and they doing some hell of a work down here. You understand that? So again, my name is Captain Laban, and I'm representing Commander General Yahanna in the city of Atlanta. And today we're gonna bring up some heavy topic. You know what I mean? That's not only plaguing, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people in the South, but blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people all over the continental USA and abroad, man, over the four corners of the earth. We got like how many callers right now?
Probably 5.
We got like 5 callers, and the last caller I spoke to, or the first caller, give me your name again, brother, the one that has his wife and his son on board right now. What's your name again, priest? We off mute. Your name is L. Man, Most High in Christ, and like I said, man, it's a difficult thing bringing your woman as well as your child on board. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to do now is, if you had any questions pertaining to any topic in the Bible, I'm willing to answer them for you. All right, because Christianity has been a hell of a drug, a hell of a thing that Satan has used against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people, man. And what Commander General Yahanna has done is he's taught certain men how to properly decipher the Bible, not just with one little, storyline, one little precept, but we go through the entire Bible to prove everything that we say. So if you got a question or your rib got a question, man, this is the time right now to pose that question to me, and I promise, that I'm gonna give you an answer that is biblically sound. All right. So if you got a question about the entire Bible, pose it now, brother. Are we under the new covenant? I would say, give me 1 second. I want to get an exact precept to go to. I don't remember them, but I can find them real quick. Give me a second. Give me Jeremiah 31. I believe in 31. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
So what was the covenant that the Most High made with us coming out of the land of Egypt? Do you remember? Do you know? I'll accept that. Come on, I will accept the circumcision. So the covenant that we were under in the beginning was that what? If we sinned, we would have to do what? Sacrifice some turtle dove or some animal, right? To atone for our sin. Correct? But now when you sin, do you have to sacrifice some animal? Do you have to go out and do you got livestock out there? Because livestock represented what? Your finances, your wealth, right? So if you had sin, you would sacrifice the choices, the most valuable of your flock to the Most High. You wouldn't give him the old greasy ass goat, right? You would give him the most unblemished lamb as a sacrifice, correct? Am I right, brother? Under the old covenant, you would give him the unblemished lamb under the old covenant. Are you doing that today? You're not doing that. So you're not under the old covenant. Now you're under the new covenant, right? And what's the new covenant? That's a heavy question that you asked. The new covenant. Do you have any idea what the new covenant is? Give me find for me in your concordance. So, you have any idea what the new covenant is? Okay. So obviously you're not killing any you're not sacrificing turtle doves and unblemished lambs. So you're not under the old covenant. So the answer to your question is you are under the new covenant. Read that for me again in Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. Which my covenant they break.
Hold on, they did what?
They break.
They broke that covenant. They stopped. Listen, they stopped sacrificing what was necessary to sacrifice in order to be atoned for particular sins. They did away with that thing, and they embraced new gods, Baal and the gods of Egypt and all the rest of them. Wood and stone they embraced, which did away with any form of sacrifice. They slept with who they wanted to sleep with. You understand that? Embrace the culture of all other nations. They did that thing. But in this new covenant, right? What is? Give me. I'm gonna simplify it for you, man. Where people don't realize John 3:16. Everybody know it, but they don't realize what John 3:16 really entails. I'm gonna give you another precept to back up what I'm saying. Give me John 3:16. This is the new covenant right here.
I got it.
Read it.
John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Meaning, listen, the Most High loved the world of Israel. Like you read that in Isaiah 45 and 17. All right? God so loved the world. He loved us, man. He made a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that he would do what? He would honor the oath that they had made between one another. So he so loved us that he did what? Gave his only begotten son. Because we had, like I just told you, ventured so far off from the law, statutes, and commandments that we had just forgot about them. We had become so ignorant that we didn't even know how to, atone for sin. So the Most High said, okay, I'm going to give you an unblemished sacrifice, something that is so valuable to you that it's going to hurt to lose it, which was Christ. I'm going to find you another precept to what I'm saying real quick. Read that again. For God so loved the world.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Read it again.
Verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
He did what?
That he gave his only begotten son.
The Lord gave us Christ, man. You see that? This is the new covenant that we under. Keep reading.
That whosoever believeth in him.
Meaning whosoever amongst the children of Israel believed that Christ came as a sacrifice. Keep reading.
Should not perish.
Should not what?
Should not perish.
Meaning, what do you keep reading? That's going to answer.
But have everlasting life.
Keep going.
Verse 17. For God sent not his son into the world to condemn the world.
You see that? He didn't send Christ here to condemn us. He sent Christ here as a unblemished lamb. That's why it's not necessary for you anymore to sacrifice some turtle dove or some prize cattle. Meaning it's not necessary for you no more to, give up the thing that bring you a certain amount of money, basically. You don't have to do that. You still with me, brother? Is he still there? Okay. Do you follow so far? Okay, so no, the simple answer to your question is no, we're not under the old covenant. The old covenant required you to do what? It's a question. Your most prized possessions, your most prized cattle, your most unblemished, beast. You know what I'm saying? That's what the old covenant required you to do, to pay with your pockets, right? But that covenant didn't do what for men? Like think about it. It's a precept in the Bible that says that, basically we, think about it. Like if I know I want to go sin, I know I want to go to the strip bar, for instance, and lust over naked women that belong to some other man some goddamn where. And I wouldn't just look at them dance and gyrate. I would do what under the old covenant? I would make sure that I had a what, brother? Question. What would I make sure I had? I would make sure I had X amount of little pigeons and turtle doves to sacrifice, right? Because I know I'm going to the titty bar. You see what I'm saying? As soon as I leave the titty bar, and Slocky for not having that precept for you, if you text me after the class, I would have found it. All right, but I would have known, like, damn, shit, it's Friday. I just got paid. I'm going to go pay the strippers to watch them dance naked before me, even though I know in my heart that they got men somewhere. I'm gonna sit up and lust after these women, right? So what would I do? I would have a stash somewhere of doves and goats and lambs to sacrifice, because it didn't change. That didn't change the heart of a man. You see what I mean? So that covenant that was established between the children of Israel and the Most High didn't change their inward parts. It didn't change them from, like right now you feel sorry about the things that like if you ate pork right now you'll feel ashamed, wouldn't you? You'll feel stupid as hell. You'll feel like, damn, for something so simple, I could have went and got me a goddamn steak. But I ate this pork chop. Like, damn, something so simple, man. I just violated the law of the Most High. It's such a simple thing. When I could have just went and got a steak. I could have went and got, beef hot dogs. But I ate these pork hot dogs, man. How stupid of me. So the old covenant didn't do anything to change the inward parts of a man. It didn't do anything to make you feel, ashamed for breaking the law. It just gave you like, damn, if I'm going to go out here and watch that big old backside, right, I need to have a stash of unblemished lambs or turtle doves, all right, to sacrifice to the Lord, even though it's not changing me. You see? But I just have to have that on stash for the Most High. So to answer your question in short terms, we are not under the old covenant. If we were under the old covenant, we would still be sacrificing, animals. All right. The new covenant is what I want to bring you to right now, so you can understand everything that I just broke down to you. Give me 1 second. The new covenant, find for me in your concordance a broken heart and a contrite spirit. The new covenant, the Lord through Christ, like think about what Christ did, man. He didn't just say like Moses did, if you break the law, this is the punishment. Christ came with metaphors and parables and speech and in words that would appeal to the inner man, the spirit of a man. That's what Christ came with. He came with like, man, goddamn woman, think about what you're doing, man. Look, you sleeping with all these men. Think about like, and incidentally, since you got your rib on the phone, I want you to know this right here. The white man is the devil the Bible speaks of, and he want to convince every black woman, Hispanic woman, and Native Indian woman that they can sleep with whoever the hell they want to sleep with, just as long as they don't put their goddamn signature on a piece of paper. How stupid is that? Think about that, man. How goddamn dumb and stupid and ridiculous is that, right? So Christ want to appeal to that perspective. Woman, you know, like you remember we caught the woman in the act of adultery? She had a husband. Remember that? What did Christ do, man? He appealed to her in a way that nobody had ever spoke to her before, right? Well, he was like, damn, like, you know, well, he convinced the men. Look, think about this right here. I got you red-handed. I could kill your dumb ass right now. I could stone you to death. That's what that woman right there was faced with, stoning from a man that had not committed a sin in all his days. Christ could have killed that woman, man. He could have killed her for breaking the law. You know, as the scribes and Pharisees wanted him to do. He could have killed her. But you know what Christ did? He said, you know what? This woman right here, man, she's going to benefit from mercy. She's going to benefit from the mercy of the Most High. So let me show her mercy right now. And what did he do? He bowed his head and rolled in the sand and then did what? He lifted himself up and told them scribes and them Pharisees, man, listen, ye who is without sin, cast the first stone. All of them know they sleeping with everybody else's wife, just like the Christian pastors are doing right now. All of them know they was doing it, right? So he said this right here, man, was so goddamn perfect for that situation at that time. He did what? He said, man, ye who is without sin, man, you cast the first stone. And they know that if they cast their first stone, they sold us down. So they looked up and looked stupid and went on their way. And he looked at a woman and said, what, brother? What did he say to that woman? You still out there?
Don't sin again.
That's right. He said, go and don't sin anymore. Don't do it again. Don't sleep with somebody that ain't your husband again. Don't do it. And what he broke down in that instance was something that appealed to her on her inward parts, within her soul, within who she was, because she was faced with being stoned. Think about that, man. I pick up a little bitty rock, I hit you with it upside your head, and there's 10 other men that's throwing the same goddamn small stones until you die. That's the death she was faced with. But Christ said, man, I'm going to show this woman mercy, even though he could have killed her funky ass, Salakia. He could have killed her, murdered her, while the white man telling every black woman, have as much sex as you want to have. Shake your ass and do everything, you know, that you want to do, man. Live your best life, while the white man telling black women that. Abort your babies, man. Treat your husband like he's a piece of crap whenever you want to. You see that? It's a big difference, man, between what Christ brought in the law of Moses. Christ brought, okay, yeah, I ain't come to destroy the law, but at the same time, I need to figure out a way to appeal to these people on the inward parts so that they won't just, you know, establish more livestock to sacrifice and it not having an impact on a soul. So, you know, we are not under that old covenant. You know what I'm saying? Even though we can't break the law, we're not supposed to break the law. Paul said it, you know what I mean, in his breakdowns, man. Shall we sin? God forbid. No, we shall not sin. But at the same time, we're not under the works of the law. Meaning what, brother? Answer that question. What are the works of the law?
The works of the law is that the punishment of breaking the law.
That's correct, brother. The punishment of breaking the law is you sleep with somebody else's wife, man, you get your head chopped off, man. Brothers come and scoop you up and beat the shit out of you to death. That's the works of the law right there. That nigga slept with my woman. I want to see both of them drug out in the street court, and I want them to die from, you know, little bitty bricks. I don't want a big brick to kill them. I want the little bitty bricks. Over 24 hours, man, they kill them. That's the works of the law right there. But now, you know what I'm saying, like your woman coming to the truth and realize that she don't have, you know, what the white man told her, the authority to just sleep with multiple men. She don't, that has never been I don't even want to call it a privilege because it's so goddamn disgusting. It has never been the works of the Most High to have a woman take within herself the rod of one man today and then another man this afternoon. That is disgusting. That's why so much disease in Atlanta right now. You know what I'm saying? Mixed with this homosexuality. So, brother, no, we're not under that old covenant, because if we was, all of us would be dead. We're under the new covenant. But I do want contrite spirit, man, broken heart. You got that?
Count on con, sir.
Give it to me.
Psalms chapter 51, verse 17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit.
You see that, man? The sacrifices of the Most High right now. Think about that. A spirit is a certain vibration. Before commanding General Yahanna, man, through the power of Christ, what were we doing? We did whatever we wanted to do. We did everything we wanted to do, man. We sold drugs, man. We tricked with pregnant women. We sold crack to pregnant women. We aborted our babies. We did all of this shit before commanding General Yahanna through the power of Christ, right?
Somebody said SHALAM.
No, hold your peace for 1 second, sister. Before commanding General Yahanna through the power of Christ, we did all of these things, didn't we, brother? Okay. Some of us even pushed that sister to have an abortion because we didn't want child support. Hold on, just give me 1 second, sis. I'm going to answer all your questions. Let me just finish this real quick, all right? Yeah, Most High in Christ. I'm going to answer any question that you got if I can. Give me 1 second. So before, read that scripture one more time.
Psalms chapter 51, verse 17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit.
So the Most High don't want us to sacrifice a goddamn animal anymore. You know what I mean? It ain't even about that, man. Think about that, man. Like right now, man, shit, you could have a slew of turtle doves and goats and all this other crap to sacrifice, but still be hoeing that night.
Right.
That didn't appeal to the inner man. That's why it was so necessary for us to hear Christ. And that's a breakdown in the Bible as well.
Right.
Where Christ and was it Moses and who else? Elijah was right there. And the Most High said, hear Christ.
Right.
Think about that right there. We have to hear Christ. Because the sacrifices of the Most High ain't tied to killing some animal. It's like right now, man, when you heard the truth, man, most of us cried. We were so goddamn disgusting in how we operated every day. You know what I mean? We had our head so far up the white man's ass, all we saw is his crap. You see? And then to come out of that crap and that muck and them lies, man, brought tears down our face, man. You see what I'm saying? Heart totally broken. The sacrifices of the Most High is a broken heart. Like, goddamn, man, was I really that goddamn stupid? Did I really operate like that? That's the sacrifices of the Most High. A broken heart and a read it again, priest.
Verse 17. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit.
He ain't looking for you to sacrifice no animal. He wants your spirit to be broken from this place in America, from what they've taught you. Your spirit is like a certain vibration. Like, you know, we all, like the Super Bowl is in a couple days here in Atlanta, ironically. Like, if we go to the Super Bowl, we're going to be rooting for our famous team. Whoever it is. All of us going to be in the same vibration, in the same spirit. Likewise, the sacrifices of the Most High are what?
A broken spirit.
Like we used to have our spirit so interconnected in America. Your spirit should be broken from this disgusting place. The hell you mean God bless America? He just approved you to yank your baby out the womb and cut his neck off. How the hell are you talking about God bless America? How the hell are you talking about this is the place for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to prosper? This is hell on earth in America. So your spirit should be broken watching all the things that the Most High is unfolding to you about this place. And you should be like, God damn, I can't believe I believed this shit for so long. I can't believe that this is what I used to do, man. Some of us cooning and buffooning, killing brothers, man, selling crack to pregnant women. I can't believe that I thought this was my come up. That I pledge an allegiance to the United States of America, man. God damn this place. So the sacrifices of the Most High is you coming out of Christianity and you coming out of Americanism, man. And you coming out of killing your babies. That's the sacrifice of the Most High. It's a broken spirit. Keep reading.
A broken and a contrite heart.
And a what?
A broken and a contrite heart.
In a contrite heart, man. Like your mind. Everybody know the heart is the mind. Like, man, listen, man, all I rep, man, listen. To the day I die, gonna be 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahanna. Wrap me in any one of these banners if I die before Christ come back.
Right.
Period. That's
Right.
me right there, man. Salakia. I don't care about nothing else but this thing right here that we doing, because I know for a fact, man, that my heart prior to this was not with the Most High. So to answer your question in the simplified form, brother, hell no, we ain't under that old covenant. And Barakatah Yahweh, while Yahweh shall forward. You understand that we under the new covenant where we should do what? Sever ourselves from Christianity, from Islam, and from all the muck and the sea of garbage, man, that have been preached to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in America, man, for the last 400-500 years, man. The answer to your question is your rib should know that she should be under you, man, and comfortable being up under you, because that's what the Lord prescribed for her. To learn from her husband. To learn from her husband. And listen, if she learned from you, she gonna teach your little ones exactly what Christ prescribed for black people, man. Our mission, man, in this earth is so important. And you asked a hell of a question, man. No, we ain't under the old covenant. We under the new covenant, man. Let your heart break. You understand that? Be confounded, man. You know what I'm saying? Sever yourself from this wickedness in America, man. You still there, brother? Most High in Christ. Does that answer your question? On the bar, no sweat, priest. Do we have somebody else ask a question?
No.
Okay, Most High in Christ. Hey, sister, I noticed you chimed in. Did you have something that you wanted to ask?
I'll tell you her name.
What was your name again, sis? Say again? Shanae. Have you been following the Israelite School of U.P.K. under Commander General Yahanna for how long? Okay. About a month. Did you have any questions? Did you have any? So you've been in class about a month. So when was the last time that you attended a so-called Christian service?
I haven't been to church in over a year.
Most High in Christ. Okay. Did you have any questions?
Because of the truth.
Say again, sis.
I haven't been in church in over a year because of the truth.
Most High in Christ. Did you have any questions for me today? Any question? Some of them, like I said, Commander General Yahanna and the generals he's been raised up, been doing it 30, 40 years. I'm limited in the scope of my, my knowledge. So some questions I may not be able to answer, but those that I can answer, I'll do my best. So whatever question you want to pose, it's a good time to do it.
I don't have any right now.
Okay, Most High in Christ. Is there anybody else online that had a question? Anybody need a breakdown on anything? Go ahead, priest.
I don't have a question right now. I just want to let you know I'm online with you, Thomas.
Who is this, bro?
Thomas.
Most High in Christ, Thomas. It was a brother that chimed in. You had a question earlier about what was it? Matthew what?
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24.
I'm not familiar with it. Go to that chapter real quick. Let me see.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Con, sir.
Matthew chapter 7.
Chapter 7, verse 24.
24. Okay.
Con, sir. Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Mm-hmm. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, mm-hmm. I will liken him unto a wise man.
Okay, so did he specify what was his, in particular, his question?
She just said he want a breakdown on Matthew chapter 7, verse 24 through 27.
Okay, give it to me again.
Verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine.
So, like, listen, we breaking down the Bible. Unlike your Christian pastors, think about it. Like, this is what convinced me, because I've been exposed to all of this garbage out here, Moors and Muslims and Christian pastors, all that that crap, right? I've been exposed to it all. But what convinced me that Commander General Yahanna had the truth was because he went to multiple sources to prove everything that he said. Read it one more time.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them.
And what?
And doeth them.
So if you, like, think about this right here. You know, we know that faith without work is dead. Meaning, like, you can sit up and, like Christians do, and, you know, Jesus coming, whenever the hell he coming, right? And you just sit on your ass clapping and looking up in the sky. Versus what you do, brother, and this is an excellent time to give you some accolades, man. The brother Karab, you know what I mean? You're officer of what?
50.
Officer of what?
50.
Man, I'm impressed.
The
what
water.
I'm saying? I'm extremely impressed by what Cap been raised up in you, brother, because you doing an excellent job here in the city of Atlanta, man, in Decatur, Georgia, man. We in the goddamn projects right now, and you got the media department, you got the camp equipment, you know what I'm saying? You got the security, you got the big old burner on you too, right?
Sir.
You know what I mean? What your name mean?
The spirit of the sword, sir.
Man, God damn, man, Most High in Christ. I'm gonna tell you something, brother. That right there proves that them brother searched you and said, this brother name is what?
The spirit of the sword.
Man, Most High, Barakatah Yahweh, while Yahweh shot for brothers like you that come up in this truth, man, that's so filled with zeal. Man, like, I'm looking at you right now, how you doing so many goddamn functions. And the brother, I didn't even have to tell him to go get, you know what I mean? Everybody know that Captain Laban, you know what I mean, got a drinking problem. I didn't even have to tell the brother to go get some goddamn good drink. He had it coming into the barracks today, man. So big ups to you, brother. And I'm gonna remember your name forever. You understand that,
sir.
man? You're doing a hell of a work to be an officer of 50. Hell of a work to be an officer of 50. Read that scripture one more time.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine.
And that's what you did, brother. You heard your captain speak, man. Ratazaya. You heard him speak. And you heard him spit the Most High in Christ, man. You heard that with clarity. Him being the king over Atlanta, man, running his zone, man, and in such professionalism, man, with this setup he got right here, man. Big up to that brother too, man. Most High in Christ with him, man. You know what I'm saying? I love that brother. Me and him, we done broke bread a couple times, had a few drinks, man. He had his slavery right now, but the testament of his work is what I'm seeing in you, man. Zaya, Yahweh, man. The water for you, Captain, man. Most High in Christ, man. But this brother you got here is the epitome of what we reading about right here in Matthew 7 and 24. Read it one more time.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine.
When did you hear him? When did you first hear Commander General Yahanna?
About last year, about around August.
Around August of, you got a year. You got a little over a year in, right?
Less than a year, sir.
Man, get the hell out of here, man. Are you serious, brother?
Con, sir. I
don't want to gas you up, man, and get you to think that this all the work you got to do, but you're doing a hell of a job, brother.
Con, sir, the water.
In the bar. Go ahead.
And doeth them.
And you doing it, brother. Go ahead.
I will liken him unto a wise man.
You got the security. You getting the scriptures that I'm asking you for. You over the media department, man. God damn. All the camp equipment I'm looking at around me, man. Man, Barakatah Yahweh, while Yahweh shot. This is what the Lord is talking about in this precept right here. Go ahead, keep reading.
Which built his house upon a rock.
You see what I'm saying? You see, you building your foundation on a rock. You ain't with some fake ass Israelite group or following behind some disgusting ass bitch out there. You see, a lot of these niggas, man, so goddamn thirsty for some snatch, for some meat, that they willing to sacrifice everything, man, just to sniff on some broad's snatch. He ain't caring about none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Verse 25, and the rain descended, or Salakia, descended.
Give me the verse above that one more time.
Verse 24, therefore whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them,
go ahead,
I will liken him unto a wise man,
go ahead,
which built his house upon a rock.
Think about that. Like, listen, the metaphor is this right here. Like, you got stony ground, and you got ground that's, you know, got sand, and you got dirt. So this wise man surveyed the different, you know, in this instance, I want to bring the other fake ass Israelite groups in. I don't even like saying they acronyms.
Right.
Think about all these fake ass bastards out here, man. A wise man gonna assess all these fake groups out here, right? And he gonna do what? He gonna choose wisely. Because there's certain things that we doing that ain't nobody else doing. And then there's certain things that everybody else doing that we ain't doing. So the wise man gonna choose the stony ground, a foundation built from its inception since 1969. They're not gonna choose some fake ass group that branched off and decided to you know, go astray in hopes of deceiving the people, just like the Christian church did, just like Christianity. They're not gonna choose that. They're gonna choose a foundation built from its inception, meaning the Most High wanted this thing to be erected. The Most High is behind Commander General Yahanna in 1 West.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Since 1969, man, Harlem, New York. You understand that the Most High behind this thing. So the wise man is going to choose, you know, the organization that was built from its inception. From when the Most High decided that he wanted to bring his true spirit into the earth. That was in 1969. The wise man is going to choose correctly. Read that last verse one more time.
Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them.
And do what?
And doeth them.
And do them. Go ahead.
I will liken him unto a wise man.
See that? Go ahead.
Which built his house upon a rock.
And that's what you're doing, brother. Keep going.
Verse 25. And the rain descended.
Meaning the rain came on the foundation that was built from stone and brick and mortar and things that were solidified. Keep going.
And the floods came.
And what?
And the floods came.
Go ahead.
And the winds blew.
Go ahead.
And beat upon that horse.
And because your foundation was built upon an organization that was bred from the Spirit of Most High himself, right? Even though the floods came, right? And the wind came and the rain, and we still standing strong. 1 West, 125th Street, under Commander General Yahanna, that come from, you know, 1969, Harlem, New York.
Right.
We still here.
Right.
Think about all the shit and the crap and the muck and all the things that's right now trying to destroy our movement, man. Man, these niggas are standing strong, man. I ain't going no goddamn way.
Right.
These, I want to say, Slovakia. We ain't going nowhere, man. We gonna be here. No matter how many people come up against us, no matter how many, famous media outlets come up against 1 West, you know what I'm saying? No matter how they try to associate us with some disgusting ass rapists, man, when we don't desire to screw no goddamn white dog. I tell you this, man, I don't want nothing pale and blonde haired with a flat back. You know what I mean? You could take all them categories, man, and whatever. Commander General Yahanna in 1 West, man, the Israelite school of I.S.U.P.K, we ain't trying to rape no white dog.
Right.
They trying to associate us with that other fake Israelite group. You see that? So this is the wind you're experiencing like right now. People got to realize, man. Read that last precept one more time.
Verse 25. And the rain descended.
Hold on, what?
And the rain descended.
And the rain is a metaphor for like rough times.
Right.
You know what I mean? The rain is a metaphor for, you know, right now the media is trying to associate us with the Ku Klux Klan.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rain. Keep reading.
And the floods came.
And what?
And the floods came.
And some of the people that was weak left, and they started talking about us, man. People that we've helped, that we fed and clothed, man, and paid their goddamn rent. You understand that? And tried to heal. These same people would do what? Be a flood of misinformation about our organization.
Right.
And even though they come and they go, we experience them every year. Guess what, man? The people that are founded, that built their house upon, you know, that stony ground and that the rocks are fortified in cement. And people are like, okay, man, we've seen your kind before. Keep reading.
And the winds blew.
And even the winds, man, people that talking shit from left and right and front and back. All these people that's trying to destroy One West, man, we gonna endure this shit, man. Ain't no sweat. That's why our mantra is no sweat, no cowards, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Since 1969, 125th Street, man, the nigga in charge is Commander General Yahanna right now. And we give no fucks, Salakia, about what you say about us. We're gonna do this damn thing right here, man. Until Christ come back, man. We're gonna spit, we're gonna rep, we're gonna push Commander General Yahanna in 125th Street, Harlem, New York, since 1969, just like the Lord intended us to do. Period. Keep reading.
And the Salakia, and beat upon that house.
Go ahead.
And it fell not.
And listen, man, we here. We ain't going nowhere. Who the hell asked for this precept right here? That's an excellent one to bring out right now, man. We ain't going no goddamn where, man. We all over this place, man. I was just in Detroit 2 days ago. You understand that, man? This brother that left Detroit and went to Minnesota, Indianapolis, man. You know what I'm saying? We all over this joint, man. All over this place, man. And we ain't going no goddamn where.
Right.
Keep reading.
For it was founded upon a rock.
You see that, man? We built upon the rock, man, that was established in 1969, man. 50 years ago almost. 50 years ago almost, man, this foundation was built. That should break down right there, man. Ain't nobody moving us from what we know to be facts, because we got every precept to break down every verse in the Bible. Unlike your Christian pastors. That's the breakdown right there. We got anything else? Did he need the other? What verse was that?
That was verse 25.
Okay, verse 25. Give me a precept to. Oh, that was verse 25. Give me he said 25 to 27.
Con, sir.
Okay, keep going.
Verse 26. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not.
Now see, that's the thing. Everybody, it's some of us, right, that's so weak in the game that we hear and we understand that everything that Commander General Yahanna has said is true. Some of us have heard that, right? Some of us understand it to be true, but because we're so weak in our spirit, in our foundation, because we're so weak, we tend to be swayed away from the call. Read that one more time.
And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine,
go ahead,
and doeth them not,
and what?
And doeth them not,
and what?
And doeth them not,
and what?
And doeth them not.
Like you heard Commander General Yahanna through Christ.
Right.
You heard him, man. Think about that, man. You heard him and you rapped him and you prophesied to everybody. You stood on the street corner, Salakia, and confessed that One West 125th Street is the home of the truth through Christ and the Most High power, right? You confessed this already. But then something happened where Satan come in and he says to you, he whispers to you, and you are convinced that, okay, even though I know everything he said is true, everything that we've brought out is actual facts, I'm going to go ahead and establish my own group.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and establish my own way of trying to bring the people in to convince them that I'm the one, right? When you do a thing like that, man, destruction is imminent. Keep reading, please.
Carnal concern shall be likened unto a foolish man.
Shall we what?
Shall be likened unto a foolish man.
Man, listen, man, it's easy for you to be to hear Satan. You know, I hear him all the time. You know what I'm saying? Satan, you know, his voice is very loud. I hear him. But do I follow Satan? That's two different things right there. You know, yeah, he out there constantly whispering, man. You experience that through, you know, through the media and through at your slavery. You know what I mean? Through some woman or some man somewhere. You hear Satan, but do you follow him?
Salaki.
One more. Go ahead, please.
Salaki, if I may, Adawan,
Please.
that even deals with when sometimes, you know what I mean, you come in the truth, you might be zeal, you might have that zeal on you, you know what I mean, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you know what I mean, you just loving the truth, everything is good, but then it might get to a time to where, you know what I mean, Satan might come and try to make you seem like, oh, you tired of doing it, or then I got to do all these work, I got to do all this work, but that's where it comes to, it's going to happen, it's going to come to where it's going to make you feel down, but the thing is you going to go ahead and not and make excuses, is you going, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and make it seem like, oh, well, I can't do this and make excuses so you can't do it, or are you just going to say, man, F whatever is going on with me, or however I feel about it, I'm going to just do what I'm told and do what I got to do.
And you know what you just said, you know what I mean, it's heavy, and also it speaks from wisdom. It speaks from a man that studied. And give me I want a precept on what you just said, because some of us come in, think about this right here, some of us come into the truth where we full of that zeal that you just spoke on. You know, we amped up for the Most High in Christ. But then a woman get to preaching to us.
Right.
And then we hear our mama and granny, you know what I mean? Then our daddy and our grandpa and, you know, our job and, you know, all these other factions come into play. And then you see our zeal do this. Some of us, all right? You see our zeal go from 10 to 3. It's a problem.
Right.
That's what Satan, that's his intent right there. Give me Matthew 24 and verse 39. Matthew 24 and verse 39. Give me that.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 39. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So that's, like, think about this right here. You hear us preaching all the time about how important it is for you to maintain the cause. And no matter what, you need to stay on point. But then you're convinced, like so many that I've seen lately, been convinced that, you know, that they can venture off and it'll be okay. You know what I mean? That what they learned, like, think about this, man. We brung you out of the world.
Right.
We gave you the precepts. We gave you the Lashawan Kodash. We told you the name of the Most High, right? We told you how to interact amongst one another. And then you have one occurrence, right, that convince you that everything that we've brought to you is trash. And we constantly, you know, through trying the Spirit, by the Spirit, try to bring you back in, right? But because we're not, from a worldly perspective, you know what I mean, licking your wounds and saying, oh, baby, it's going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not doing that shit. We just repping what the Lord intended us to do in order to heal you, right? Because we ain't doing it in a worldly fashion, you don't get it. Y'all, Bashim, y'all, Shabrakatah, who's this? Most High in Christ, priest, did you have a question or a comment? What's that brother's name again?
Keeping.
Okay, you got a question or a comment? Most High in Christ. Is there any questions or comments out there? Anybody want to chime in real quick? All right, Most High in Christ. So because we're not doing it in that way that you're used to, licking your wounds and, oh, baby, it's going to be okay, because we're showing you real love, which is correction. you tend to reject it because you're back in the world. You're listening to Satan again.
Right.
Right? We warning you that if you go in that direction, you know what I'm saying, then the flood is gonna come. And in that day you ain't gonna be prepared because the door is gonna close, just like in the days of Moses. Keep reading.
Con, sir. Matthew chapter 24, verse 49. What was it from? 24 and 39, Salakia. So shall also the coming of Salakia from the beginning. I knew not until the flood came and took them all away.
And did what?
And took them all away.
Mm-hmm.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
And also, listen, man, this is what it's talking about. Like in these days, some of y'all that think you done built your foundation on 125th Street, Harlem, New York, man, gonna be tried and tempted, man. And you're gonna break off. You're gonna be on social media with that bullshit against the truth, against this organization, man. And guess what? You're gonna find yourself a victim.
Right.
Understand that, drowning in the flood. Because you didn't understand that at this point, at this time, man, Satan is working hard to destroy you, man. Give me Revelations 3 and verse 16. Satan's job, his literal job, is to convince those of us that has been in this organization, right, with certain amount of zeal, certain amount of spirit. His job is to make you believe that this ain't the truth. That there's another truth out there. That there's many truths when there's only one truth.
Right.
That's his job. I'm going to prove it to you right now, man. Give me Revelations chapter 3 and verse 16.
Revelations chapter 3, verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm.
Hold on, stop. Give me the verse above that. Give me verse 1.
Revelations chapter 3, verse 1.
Hold on, slap it. Not verse 1. Give me Revelations chapter 3 and give me start from 14.
Revelations chapter 3, verse 14. And to the angel of the church,
15.
Verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot.
Because what?
Thou art neither cold nor hot.
Because you're not. Think about that. Like we got a saying, on fire, right? You can be on fire in this truth. Like this brother I'm working with right now, man, he controlling several departments and doing a hell of a job. You can be on fire from the time that you are a trooper, right, to the time that you commanded General Yahanna. You can stay on fire. Or at some point in your what's the correct word that I want to use? In your pedigree, right? At some point in your pedigree, you can break off and be some little, some guy that don't nobody, even hear because he ain't making no goddamn noise. He ain't excited about this thing that we doing no more. He was on fire as a trooper. But shit, his mama started calling him a cult member.
Right.
His woman left him, wouldn't give him no love no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The woman took the baby that he loved so much from him.
Right.
And guess what his spirit said? Oh, man. Oh. You see? And it became what? Lukewarm. Think about drinking some lukewarm coffee, man. You don't really want that thing. And because thou art lukewarm, because thou art neither cold nor hot, and he said, I would rather that you be cold. So I can see that you goddamn cold and disgusting. That faith without work is dead. I can see that you sitting up, oh, Jesus coming back. And you ain't got no goddamn work to back that up, man. I would rather that you just be cold so I can differentiate between the two easily. But now you're making my decision hard because you want to half-ass it. You want to, on certain days act like you feel with this truth. And then, Monday through goddamn Friday, man, ain't nobody hearing from your ass.
Right.
You ain't sending no tithes in, man. You ain't answering the phone. You know what I'm saying? You ain't listening to the man above you and doing what the hell he tell you to do. Some simple goddamn orders. I'd rather for your ass to be just cold so I can see you clearly for who the hell you are. You see that? I'd rather for you to be cold with your head up that bitch's ass. Rather for you just be cold like that, man. But because you're neither cold nor hot, keep reading.
I will spew thee out of my mouth.
Man, even so, man, you ain't got no place in what I'm doing. I'm gonna spit you out my goddamn mouth, man. I ain't got nothing to say about you to the Most High, man. You gonna say to me in that day, did not prophesy? Did not do this and not do that? You gonna look at you, man, like hell no, man. You was doing that other thing, man, because they hurt your feelings, man. Because they cut you off from the thing that you lusted for. Read it one more time, please.
Verse 16.
Please.
Verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot.
Neither what?
And neither cold nor hot.
Man, you ain't cold where I can clearly see you ain't doing the work. And you ain't on fire like this brother right here, man. Rakak or Rob, man. You ain't on fire like this brother right here, man. 3, 4 goddamn departments by his damn self, man. That's on fire right there. That's hot. You know what I'm saying? That's on fire, man. You got camp equipment. You camp equipment here, and you responsible for it. Oh, that's a brother that's on fire. Versus some brother that his woman then told him, the best thing you can do is just battle me back and forth on Facebook and talk a good goddamn game.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's the best thing you can do. That's what she allowed you to do. You ain't going to no goddamn camp. You definitely ain't taking on another wife that needs you somewhere. You see that? You gonna stay right here up under my goddamn leg and my foot. You gonna stay lukewarm. You're going to give them just enough for them to say, okay, you know, Shalom Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Barakatah. But you ain't going to be on fire in this thing. I'm going to make sure of it. That's what I see some brothers, not every brother, not a lot of brothers, but some brothers, man, bowing down to this bullshit out here, man. Read it one more time, please.
Verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
And what that mean?
What?
Go ahead.
He's saying because since you don't know what side to choose, you know what I mean, you don't know if you want to not be in it or you want to be in it.
That's correct.
Then he's just gonna go ahead and get rid of you.
And the precept for that is what?
Would it be Matthew 7:27?
No, I want the one where Christ said, you know, if you give up your life, right?
Oh, would that be what?
Find it for me.
Count on concert.
My mind is destroyed.
I think it's 16.
Remember the numbers. It's the one where Christ said,
you lose my life for my sake.
That's correct. If you lose your life for my sake, you should gain it. That's the one I want right there. Like, you know, like these women, man, putting y'all up in a corner, man. Your job putting you in the goddamn corner. You know what I mean? Your mama, your family, your father, your daughter, your everybody that's telling you, man, you drop one west, man. Unless you drop one west, I ain't got nothing to do with you. There's another precept too, I believe, is in Timothy. Go ahead and read that one for me first.
Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself.
Let him do what?
And deny himself.
Let him deny the things that he loves, the people that he loves. You know what I mean? The people that make him feel good about everything that he do on the earth. Let him deny himself. Because your woman gonna come up against you. Your child gonna come up against you. Your mother and father, your mother-in-law, all of them gonna come up against you, man. Deny yourself. Deny yourself that pleasure of having these people that say, I love you. Well, really, they don't love you, man. They don't love you, man. Christ denied his own goddamn mama. Mary was not in the truth, man. He denied his own goddamn mother when he told the disciple, man, who is my mother and father? Think about that right there, man. That's a hell of a thing, man. She stood without the camp. I mean, she wasn't a part of what we did. and she barking orders at Christ. And Christ looked at the disciples and said, what, man? Who is my mother and my father? And he pointed to the disciples and told them, this is my mother and my father right here. Read it one more time.
Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself.
You see that? Man, you got to deny you, man, for this truth right here, man. You know what I mean? Under Commander General Yahanna, man, and Christ. Deny yourself, man. Just don't feel nothing. Don't feel anything. Period.
Right.
Have no emotions about nothing, man. That's the best advice I can give to any man, woman, and child out there listening.
Damn right.
Don't feel. Don't be emotional. Follow and obey Christ to the letter. Period. That's your concern right there. And be counted worthy in that day. Period. All right? Keep going.
Come. And take up his cross.
And what?
And take up his cross.
Read it one more time so people can understand what that means.
And take up his...
From the top.
Come. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross.
What that mean right there, please?
Salakia.
Go ahead.
Would that mean to take up his burden, his responsibilities?
Whose responsibility?
His responsibility.
Who was his?
The person who wants to follow Christ.
So who dragged that goddamn cross, man, and drunk from that cup and you know and endured all of that goddamn pain and suffering?
Yahushua.
Right. So you got to be willing, man, to the letter to take up the same goddamn burden. You know, just sip from that cup, man. Take a little sip from that, man. You see what I'm saying? FBI bust through the door right now, man. Goddamn, kill us all. You see what I'm saying? White man drag us out in the street and murder us, man. What we supposed to be begging and pleading? You know what I'm saying? Giving up our soul, man. Eating pork for this bastard. Hell no. I'm taking up the cross, man. Bring that shit on. Bring it all on. Sip from that cup right there, man. You a disciple of the Most High, man. And you're doing an excellent job, brother. You know what I mean? You sipping from that cup, man. You don't look like these niggas out here fresh to death. You know what I'm saying? All about money and selling drugs and shit like that. Look at you, man. The world would say you look stupid.
Right.
I say you look like, man, a prophet of the Lord, brother.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's a hell of a burden right there to go out here in this place. I see the way you rolled up. We sipping. What this shit right here we sipping? We sipping goddamn Evan Williams. Goddamn it. This ain't XO or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, you roll up at the party, you got the the Evan Williams, they're gonna blaze you. You know what I'm saying? We sipping Evan Williams. You feel what I'm saying? And we repping the Most High in Christ, man. Commander General Yahanna. Period. That's what we doing. And we don't care. We don't give, I don't want to say the accolade, but I want to say it. We don't give two ducks about what somebody else think about what we're doing, man.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Much like Christ. You see what I'm saying? And you got to be willing, man, in order to do this thing, y'all, man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. The Most High, like those of you all that's gonna be so successful in the truth. So, so the brother and the sister that others look up to. Satan gonna attack your ass harder.
So
go ahead, please.
It just when you even said that, it goes into what I think of. It just made me think of how Christ rode on a donkey. Like he didn't have a race horse or no fine stallion. He rode up on a donkey to teach the word.
That shit was so heavy, wasn't it? And when I read that right there, I'm like, I'm amazed. Everybody else got stallions and horses. This nigga ride up on a goddamn donkey and some sandals. You see that? That was fresh. That's what I'm talking about right there. If your spirit can see that, you feel me? Where everybody else like, this nigga rode up on a little bitty big-eared donkey. He didn't have the most choices, horse, a white stallion. The ride on this nigga come with a donkey. That shit was hardcore.
Right.
That was hardcore right there, priest. That's a hell of it that you remember that right there. So like, you know, man, this walk we on, man, it ain't no listen to what I'm about to tell you right now. And sometimes I hate even saying it, but you talking to a most disgusting bastard right here, right now. I'm talking about all the wickedest shit I used to do, love to do it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm disgusted about my past. You know what I mean? Disgusted about the things that I used to embrace, man. And that even though I had my head so far up the white man's ass, believe in him and everything that he brought that I couldn't even see a nigga as my brother. You know what I'm saying? So like right now, it's so important for everybody out there that's listening, man. That brother Ratazaya, man, the king of you know, Atlanta, man, it's important, man, to get with that brother, man, and understand that he ain't doing nothing but repping Commanding General Yahanna since 1969. You know,
Right.
we West, man, we the original, you know, Hebrew Israelites. Everybody talking about us in the media, but what we do is give blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people the true doctrine of Jesus the Christ. That's all we do. I ain't asking your man to come and grab an AK, let's go kill somebody, go rob and steal and murder. We ain't doing none of that shit. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, I like to say every goddamn week. That ain't our mission. You know what I mean? We stay, yeah, calm. We stay strapped. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody gonna put their hands on us. We proficient in the martial arts. Goddamn right. But you ain't never heard about us hurting nobody out there, man. Initiating no confrontation with people, man. So you got to remember that the media, their agenda is going to be to destroy the spirit that we trying to invoke in blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. The media are going to try to destroy that. So when you hear and when your family members hear cult, or how we abuse black women,
Racist.
you know, that we racist and haters, man, get the fuck out of here. Salaki for my language. When you hear all those things, man, just tie it in to what we actually say.
Right.
You know, listen to one of our videos.
Right.
I mean, when we do go hard, listen to the subject matter. Like, I don't know if anybody, you know, out there realize, but, you know, they just approved a baby to be murdered the 9th month of its inception. And we speak highly against that, man. It's a horrific video out there on the internet where, you got something?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
It says, a dude says, my mom's white and dad died. I'm of Judah with no Hebrew around to learn the word with or walk with. White man's land, shaking my head. Do you have any wise words that could help my walk?
You goddamn right. What city is he from?
Kevin Banks, would you know what city you from?
Well, listen, it don't matter where you at. You just said your father was a nigga, man, that come off the slave boat. That's all that matter right there. And we got classes, man, Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. All you got to do is log on to www.ISUPK.com. Right? Commander General Yahanna also hosts a prominent radio show right now from 9 to 11 p.m. every Monday. So listen to me, brother. I know you, like if you in some goddamn cornfield, Iowa, some goddamn
say from Indiana.
Indiana? Man, this is Kaposh land. Get the hell out of here. Captain Kaposh is the king of Indiana. I wish I could find Captain Kaposh's number right here, man, and put it up on the line, man. Listen, we got classes in Indiana. It's a heavy brother out there in Captain Kaposh, man. That's a mighty man that will teach you everything in the Bible that you need to know. Teach you how to come out of the wickedness of the white man. Right? Call Captain Kaposh in Indiana. Listen, go to ISUPKIndiana.com, I believe. If not, we're going to give you a telephone number for that brother right now. Find Indiana Captain Kaposh phone number. But you got a group of men down there, man, that's doing hell of a works right now in Indiana, brother. You ain't been looking hard enough. All right? Some hell of a brothers down there in Indiana, man. Found it.
I'm gonna find it.
I hear you, sis. You got a question? Anybody out there on online got a question? Or anybody on the phone got a question? Who was that? What's your question, brother? What's your name? City and state. Most High in Christ. You got a question, priest?
You could a breakdown of Matthew chapter 15 verses 5 through 9.
Oh man, did you just say that? Matthew 15, 5 through 9? No sweat.
I got it.
Go ahead, give it to me.
He said 5 through 9?
Yeah, start at verse 1. Matthew chapter 15, verse 1.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 1. They came to Yahushua, scribes and Pharisees.
So you got to realize who coming to Christ first, right? You got people, you got individuals that, black people, right? Or Hispanics or Native Indian people, man, Israelites that's coming to Christ. Keep reading.
Khan, which were of Jerusalem, saying,
meaning, like, which were of Jerusalem proved that they were Israelites, that they were black people. Keep going.
Verse 2. Why do thy disciples transgress the traditions of the elders?
Keep going. And the traditions of the elders, we're going to break down right now. Go ahead.
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
I'm going to ask you a question. Is there a law that says in the Bible that you know of that before you pick up a piece of bread and eat it, that you got to wash your hands? Is there a law that says that, brother? Go ahead. That's right. There is no law that says before you eat anything that you have to wash your hands. Although, if you just come out, you digging in dirt, of course you might want to wash your hands, but there's no law governing that, okay? So the elders, much like your grandmama would say, boy, wash your hands before you eat some of them greens, some of that macaroni, some of that, whatever. Your grandmama would tell you to wash your hands because she learned that from somebody. She didn't learn it from the Bible. Keep reading.
Khan, sir. Verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Now what Christ is cutting them on. Read it one more time.
Verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, why do ye also transgress the commandment of your of God by your tradition?
While you sit up there trying to point out a fault in me that has no place in the law of the Most High, why do you also transgress the commandments of God? Keep going.
By your tradition.
By your what?
By your tradition.
By your what?
By your tradition.
Now he's going to break down what that tradition was. Keep going.
Verse 4. For God commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother.
Is that a law, brother? To honor your father and your mother? That is a law. Keep going.
And he that curseth father or mother,
go ahead.
Let him die the death.
Let him do what?
Die the death.
Hey, Cap, you want to come up here? Okay. Let him do what?
Die the death.
And he that curses mother and father, let him die the death. That's the law. Keep going.
Verse 5. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father.
But the scribes and the Pharisees, their tradition was to say this right here. Whosoever shall say to their what?
Father or his mother.
Go ahead.
It is a gift. By whatsoever.
Now let me go ahead.
Thou mightest be profited by me.
Now think about this, man. This is how I'm going to break this part right here down to you. Your mother come to you and say to you, my mortgage is due, and if I don't pay $500 to the real estate investor, they're going to kick me out my house. And you say to your mother and your father, here go $250. And then your mother and your father say to you, well, that's not going to, save me. And you turn around and say to your mother, man, whatever I just gave you is more than what you just had. You see? And you say to them, what I just gave you is more than what you just had. And it profits you to take what I just gave you, even though it's not the whole $500. You better off than what you were had I not given you that $250. Keep reading.
Con, sir. Verse 6. And honor not his father or his mother.
That ain't honoring your mother and father, because if your mother and your father pushed you out the womb, raised you to be who you are, and the only thing they ask for you is to help them out in the time of need. And you turn around and say to them, you don't say to them, mama, this is all I got. I did everything that I could. This is my whole paycheck. You say to them, man, I just gave you $250. What I just gave you profits you more than what you just had. You see, it's a difference between you saying, this is all I have, and from you saying, man, I just gave you $250. Whatever I just gave you profit you more than what you had before I gave it to you. You see, keep going. And honor not his mother and father. Because a man or woman that honor his mother and father and got it to give, gonna give it all to them so they won't find themselves in some dire straits. You see, keep going.
Con.
And his question was chapter what?
It was
verses what? I'm slacking.
I think it was verse 15? I'm not sure.
What was your verses again that you wanted broke down, brother? Okay, verses 5. Where you at right now?
Verse 5. I just read verse 5.
Keep going.
Verse 6. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect.
Think about what it's saying. Like, I gave you $250. I'm free of, you being able to say to anybody that I gave you nothing. You can't say I didn't give you nothing. I'm free of that burden. So in me saying that I really don't honor you, although I gave you something, that's honoring not thy mother and thy father by not helping them through the whole situation, through the whole dire straits. You know what I'm saying? By not helping them through that hardship that they face. That ain't honoring your mother and father.
Right.
Keep going.
Con, sir. Verse 7. Salakia. None effect by your tradition.
What verse?
Verse 7. I'm on verse 7.
Read verse 6.
Verse 6. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect.
Right. Thus have you made the commandment of God to none effect. Meaning the Most High said, honor your mother and your father. You endure that hardship with them. You do what you have to do in order to make sure that your mother and father succeed through that hardship. That's honoring your mother and father. But the other guy that's saying, here go $250, man, I ain't worried about nothing because I've given you, more than what you had. It's a big difference. Keep going.
By none effect.
So have you
by
made
your tradition.
So have you made the commandments of God of none effect by your traditions. As long as I gave my mama something, my father something, they should be happy. That's a tradition of men and not the commandment of God, which prescribed for us to see our parents through a hard, difficult time. Think about like when your parents is in their second infancy. They're incontinent. You know what I'm saying? They going through X, Y, and Z, and they need somebody that loves them to help them to the next level. You see that? Or help them through those hard times. And you just say, oh, well, I'm just giving out a couple dollars. You know what I mean? You should be satisfied because I'm helping you through that part of that hard time. That's the commandments of God to none effect right there. Keep going.
Verse 7.
Go ahead.
Ye hypocrites.
You what?
Ye hypocrites.
You what?
ye hypocrites.
Go ahead.
Well, did Isaiah
Uh-huh.
prophesy on you, saying,
Uh-huh.
verse 8, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth.
The what?
With their mouth.
And they sit up and say, man, I honor my mother and father, and they just help them through half of the hardship. So these people draw near to me with their lip service. Oh, I look out for my mom and my father. When really they ain't doing none of that. Keep going.
And honor of me.
And it was prophesied through the prophet Isaiah that thou shalt honor thy mother and thy father.
Right.
Go ahead.
And honor of me with their lips.
With what?
With their lips.
With what?
With their lips.
With this lip service, man. None of the Christian people are really holding to this law right here to honor thy mother and thy father. They ripple off a little bit here and a little bit there, man, and they tell their parents, man, you profit from me by what I just gave you, man. You shouldn't have no complaints. Thus made the commandments of God to none effect, honoring the traditions of men. Keep going.
Con, sir. But their heart is far from me.
Mm-hmm. You ain't repping the Most High in Christ, man, in your soul, in your spirit. You ain't considering Him in every walk of your life. You know what I mean? When you bend this corner, man, when you go into that store, you know what I'm saying? When you enter this situation, man, everything I do, the first thing, whether I'm wrong or right, I consider as the Most High.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's what you do, man, in the walk the journey that we're on right there. You consider the Most High, His laws, His statutes, and commandments. In everything, man. That's Him putting the law on your inward parts right there. Because we know what the result of not listening to the Lord has been slavery. The white man killing us, man, shooting us in the goddamn back. You know what I mean? Murdering our kids, man. Raping our daughters, man, and our sons. That right there would force you to always consider the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments first. When you know that if you don't, man, your little baby girl gonna get molested. You see that? Your son gonna get sodomized, man. Think about that right there. Little baby boy didn't got sodomized, man, because you ain't you ain't adhering to the law, statutes, and commandments. That'll put them right here in your chest. God damn. Think about that right there, man. If I knew that the result of my inequity would be carried on to my children to the third and fourth generation, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fix myself. And I'm going to make sure that shit is embedded in my chest and my mind all the goddamn time. I'm going to put the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments right here in my inward parts so that no matter what I do, no matter what I consider, is the Most High first. Keep going.
Con, sir. Verse 8. This people draw nigh unto me with their mouth.
Man, that's your Christian church, man. They draw nigh to the Most High with what?
With their mouth.
With their what?
With their mouth.
Keep going.
And honor of me with their lips.
With this goddamn lip service, man. With this shit right here, man. It don't mean nothing. And not based on your actions, what you do, how you operate, how you consider your brother, how you consider blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people, man. When you talking about God love everybody. With black people sitting up there under the muck and the disgust of the earth, and you talking about, oh, God love everybody. What the hell are you talking about, man? You sound stupid with that mess. Keep going.
But their heart is far from me.
It's what?
It's far from me.
And they mind ain't on the Most High. He ain't in here. He's not in the inward parts of a man or woman. We ain't taught our children that, man. That consider the Most High in everything you do. Keep going.
Verse 9. But in vain they do worship me.
And what?
In vain.
In vain means for nothing. No. Meaningless. In vain they do worship me.
Right.
God, Jesus, and all this other shit that I got a lot of the hymns and the songs and the pork and the the chitlins and the speaking in tongues. In vain for nothing, they do worship me. Go ahead.
Teaching for doctrines.
Hold on. This is important right here. Teaching for what?
Teaching for doctrines.
Christmas. Teaching for what?
Teaching for doctrines.
Thanksgiving. Teaching for what?
Teaching for doctrines.
Martin Luther King Day. Teaching for what?
Teaching for doctrines.
Valentine's Day. Keeping for what?
Teaching for doctrines.
Teaching all of these things, man, that we've learned from men. All these things we learned from men, man. These doctrines we've learned from the white man, who is the devil the Bible speaks of, that has taught all our Christian pastors to teach our women, to beat upside the head of our men. These doctrines of devils, of men. The what?
Teaching of doctrines, the commandments of men.
Oh my God. Now we've begun to tell everybody Christmas is Yahweh's birthday. That comes from some men. Right? We should honor Martin Luther King's day. That comes from some goddamn man. You know, much like we should wash our hands before we eat anything. You know what I'm saying? That comes from some man. All of these things, man, that we, listen, the vast majority, 99.9% of the things that we do in America under Christianity and the white man comes from a doctrine built by men.
Right.
Unless you get that in your goddamn skull. Right? Like it's another scripture. Give me, unless they become a falling away first. I had that earlier last week. But you got to let this shit fall away, man. It's a lock here. All of these things we're talking about, man, let that shit go. Right? You got to be born again, a brand new baby, man, and learn as if you've heard it for the first time. These scriptures right here is a heavy scripture you asked me to break down. Was that it on the brother's question? Or keep going? Salaki. I do want you to get that scripture, but let's finish the brother's.
What's the scripture?
Was that it?
What's the scripture?
The one where you talk about unless there come a falling away first.
I think, second Thessalonians.
Yeah, I believe so. That's important too, man. We got to reveal this man the sin. You got it?
Hold on.
Keep going in that scripture where we at now. Salaki.
Second Thessalonians
What is it?
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Give me 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Go ahead.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you.
And listen, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people have been deceived by these traditions of men. We listen, man. We believe that Christmas is in the Bible. That Easter eggs somehow is associated with God, sisters and brothers out there. Think about this shit, man. That a rabbit, which is an abomination to the Lord, is somehow associated with His holiness.
Right.
Man, come on, man. A Christmas tree, which is pagan, man. That wood and the stone, this kabah stone, is somehow associated with God. We've let these traditions of men teach us that this is the doctrine of God. Read that last precept first. The last precept one more time that we were just at, and then go to 2 Thessalonians.
That was Matthew.
What was it? Matthew 15 and I hope we got to the brothers all of the scriptures.
15, 1 through 9.
Okay, read 8 right quick.
So like we got
Matthew 15 and 8.
real quick.
Matthew 15 and 8. Go to there.
15 and 8.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 8. This people draw nigh unto me with their mouth.
With what?
With their mouth.
Man, come on, go ahead.
And honor me with their lips.
With what?
With their lips.
All that goddamn talking. Go ahead.
But their heart but their heart.
You ain't put the Lord, His laws, statutes, commandments in your inward parts. You're more comfortable with being an immoral, disgusting bastard in the earth. Keep going.
Is far from me.
Keep going.
Verse 9. But in vain.
And what?
In vain.
But nothing. Go ahead.
They do worship me.
And his question was it 9 to end?
Yeah, now was the last
Okay,
verse.
now go to 2 Corinthians. I'm going to give you a precept on this, man. And open your ears up right here. You still out there, brother? Okay, Most High in Christ. Give me that in what Rock Zaya.
2 Thessalonians.
The 2 Thessalonians. I need that one.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive
And
you.
we've been deceived. That's what we're talking about right now. In your question, we've been deceived, man, by the white man who taught the Christian pastors, who taught your wife, who taught your grandmama, who taught your mother and your sister, man, to make you believe that these things that's coming out of the Christian church was true, when they absolutely are the doctrines of men. Read it one more time.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
By what?
By any means.
Any man, listen, man, by the slightest bit. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe none of this shit that they say. Unless you're getting it precept upon precept like we're breaking down here tonight. And no Christian pastor does that right there. None of them do what we're doing right here. Let no man deceive you by any means. Keep going.
For that day shall not come.
Meaning, read the verse above the first one you read.
Verse 2. That ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled.
Read verse 1, Salaki.
Verse 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach.
Hold on. Read it one more time.
Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua.
We trying to get you to understand. By our Lord Yahushua. Keep going.
And by our gathering together unto him.
Unto him. Go ahead.
Verse 2. That ye be not soon shaken in mind.
Go ahead.
Or be troubled.
Go ahead.
Neither by spirit, nor word,
go ahead,
nor by letter, as from us.
Go ahead.
As the day of Christ is at hand.
You see that the day of Christ's returning is at hand. That you can't be deceived. You can't be coerced to believe in some other doctrine. Keep going.
Verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
Go ahead.
For the day shall not come.
Meaning Christ will not come. This day that has been foretold cannot come. It will not happen. The Most High will not send Christ. Keep going.
Except there come a falling.
What?
Except.
What?
Except.
Go ahead.
There come a falling away first.
What is a falling away? Things that just peel up off you. You know what I mean? Just fall off you, man. Fall off you. What is the falling away? The doctrines and the traditions of men. That's the falling away first. You got to realize Christmas is a day that the Babylonians pushed as a pagan holiday to honor some false god, some man, some goddamn way. Easter bunnies don't represent Christ. You have to open your goddamn mind, sis. Instead of being so in love with the lust of America, right, and convincing your man that Christianity is correct, you gotta let that shit go. You gotta let it fall off of you.
That's right.
Fall away from you. Unless there be a what? Read it again.
Unless, Salakia, for that day shall not come.
Christ ain't coming. We talked about him in the first verse. Christ ain't coming unless what? Read it.
Except there come a falling away first.
Y'all got to open your goddamn mind to what this devil has done.
That's right.
Right? The scriptures say what? That they have the crafty counsel name of Israel shall be no more in remembrance.
God.
They want to make sure that you don't remember nothing about yourself. Nothing about your culture. Nothing about your law. Nothing about the statutes and the commandments, man. That's what they convinced black people to believe in. That none of these things, not one of them, right, is necessary for you to embrace. That you can eat anything, sleep with whoever, man, not honor your husband. You know what I'm saying? You know, teach your kids all these abominations. But read that last scripture, the last verse again.
Count on God, sir. For the day shall not come.
Meaning Christ ain't coming. Go ahead.
Except there come a falling away first.
Falling away of the doctrines of men. Go ahead.
And that man of sin that man of sin.
Who is the man of sin? Who is the wicked, man? The earth has been given unto the hands of the wicked.
Right.
There's many, many wickeds in the earth, right? The Arabs is one of them. The East Indians, you know, the Chinese people over there. I can show you a video, man. White boy got a rat in his goddamn mouth. Right? Read it one more time.
For that day shall not
It
come,
won't come. It won't happen. Go ahead.
except there come a falling away first.
Meaning all of this crap that you've been indoctrinated in got to fall off you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Go ahead.
And that man of
And
sin,
then when you get rid of it, then what happens? When you realize Christmas is a lie, Thanksgiving is an abomination, pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster is against the law, right? When you realize that those things are against the law, then your mind and your eyes are open to who taught you that shit.
right.
So the real man of sin, who is your father, man, according to John 8 and what is it? John 8 and 42, something like that. You are of your father,
Yes,
the
sir,
devil.
it's the devil.
Until you realize that this man of sin taught you all this shit, right? Until he be revealed. Keep going.
So, count on con, sir. The son of perdition. Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself.
Man, who opposes and exalted himself as who?
Above all that is called God.
Man, come on, man. Serge Borgier and all the doctrines of the white man, man. Come on, now. That's what you got to understand, brother, about this Bible, man. It's so goddamn heavy, man. And listen, Barak Yahweh, man, for Commander General Yahanna, man, through Christ, man, and all the men he raised up, man, because if you really study, the Bible is crystal clear. Whether you can break it down or not, it becomes personal to you, okay? Unless you see the white man for who he is, right? Unless you allow to fall in the way of all his doctrine off your precious selves, man. Christ ain't coming, man. With that, I'm gonna turn the class over to priest and officer Rakar Karar, man, for the reading of the security announcement. Shalom.